I really look forward to seeing you in person, and I hope you had a relaxing summer. You're going to be meeting on Thursday as a cross grade level team to work on literacy instruction for T1. And I thought I'd give you a preview through this video of the work that you'll be doing so you can dive right in as a team and use your time as efficiently as possible. So your task on Thursday will be to make some small revisions to your pacing guide for T1 based on changes because of COVID. And the considerations that you're going to be using for those revisions are, we talked about this in June, easing in at the beginning of the year for week 1 and 2 with a longer runway. And that would look like really focusing on reestablishing your connection with kids and resetting expectations and norm setting. And I know that was based on the conversation that we had with Joelle in June. There also are some assessment changes that we've made for T1 based on the AOE recommendations. So the recommendations from the AOE that we get information on students' progress sooner. So we have made some changes, and so you're going to be spending, say, week 3 and 4 getting to know students as learners. And you'll see the specifics of what that looked like in this revised assessment calendar that's in a grade level folder I've made for your work on Thursday. And then focusing on high priority literacy standards. We haven't changed the curriculum maps, and you'll be teaching into all the content this year. However, because of the hybrid model and because of that longer runway, there might need to be some small trimming that needs to be done. And what you can focus on when you make those decisions are those high priority literacy standards, really focusing on the pacing guide on those. And you'll find those on the curriculum maps, and they're bolded on the curriculum maps by each trimester and for each area, reading, writing, language. And those are in your Google folder. And then lastly, this is just for kindergarten, but good for everybody to know. Kindergarten has made a change this year to the stack map. So for writing in T1, they're going to focus on foundational writing. In T2, they're going to focus on narrative writing. And in T3, they're going to do 2 short informational units, the opinion and the informational writing. So therefore, the pacing guide will need to get revised to reflect that change for T1. So the agenda that I think would be helpful is if you first review, if you go to this Google folder and you review the priority standards for T1 that are on the curriculum map, and you have those in mind as you approach the pacing guide work. And then review the CSD revised assessment calendar for T1 and allow time in weeks 3 and 4 for that assessment. So the goal is to make revisions to that T1 pacing guide. And what I've done in the Google folder that you'll access on Thursday is I've made a copy of your pacing guide that's titled COVID Pacing. So that's the document that you'll make the changes on. And the materials that you need here on the left side are the folders. So say for grade 1, you'll go into the grade 1 Google folder and you'll have the curriculum map, the revised assessment calendar, and the COVID pacing guide. And then on the right side, here are your Zoom links because you're going to need to get into a Zoom by grade level. So here are your Zoom links by grade. And lastly, I have a slide for parking lot and questions. I'm sure some things will come up that might not fit within our agenda. So make sure you add those to the parking lot. You might have some questions about the logistics of assessment. Definitely put those on this and focus today on the pacing guide work. So I really look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Thanks. And let me know if you have any